All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Daily Show again. So let's get started. All right, so today actually you'll realize it's something special. It's on a Saturday, and in fact, I actually updated my Daily Show in terms of the watch list wise. So basically, I've actually moved Euro and Gold down, and reason being is very simple because moving forward from today onwards, actually, I'm not going to cover these two, as I don't intend to really invest, nor do I intend to trade using these two instruments. So instead I actually swap over with two other ones, which is basically ASHR and also KWEB. So these two are actually basically ETF that focus on China stocks. One is mainly, as you can see, the KWEB is actually the China Internet ETF, and the ASHR is basically the China A shares ETF. So this is like some sort of like a S&P 500, and the bottom KWEB is some sort of like a Nasdaq 100, the QQ1. Triple Q. Yeah, so basically these are the four ETF actually I personally do invest in, and I do dollar cost average over the long term for these four itself. Whereas for Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is the main asset class that I actually do trade on a regular basis. All right, so I hope this show become more relevant, but otherwise let's get started. So as you know, the US market is actually closed for yesterday on Friday. So, but that said, I have none updated, and these two will be the new I updated in this. So let's go over with the ASHR. All right. So ASHR actually have a pretty short history. So over here, you only have the 20 exponential moving average and also the 50 simple moving average in terms of the monthly chart. So in terms of that, so I wouldn't be able to determine much, but just using on this 20 and this 50, you can see that right now it's in a clear bullish trend because price is very much above that. And in terms of market structure wise, it's actually, well, you can say it's bullish because you can see this is a low. This is, well, this is more like a direct straight line, so fine. So this is a neutral, this is a high, this is a higher high, this is a low, this is a lower low. So basically right now what you get is actually a neutral market structure. What you would want to is some sort of like a potential retracement and a break to a higher high, and you could potentially go long again. But otherwise, overall, you could see this big picture is still like very nice here, a very nice breakout over this consolidation period. So monthly candle wise, I do recommend that it is a good potential breakout to potentially retest this $34 region. Yeah. Oh, but since this is new, I can go through over with you. It's also drawing the key support and resistances. As this is a new layout, so it's not the one that I trade regularly, but let's go through with it. So basically how I go through over the key resistances is I use the horizontal one. Over here, this will be the key horizontal resistance. Yeah. And because right now it's the Monday, this is not how we draw. Over here you can see another clear support, which actually ties in back all the way to actually here as well. So you can see that this $21 mark would have been a good opportunity to get in. So over here, you may not have get in because it was still new. But over here, you will see that, okay, there's a potential double bottom. And over here, it was definitely a clear support, especially with this green candlestick. So getting entry into this $24 mark would have been a great zone for entry. And similarly over here, there was a clear resistance. Yeah. And potentially in the coming weeks, you will have somewhere here. Yeah, so there are pretty much very clear horizontal resistance region for the ASHR on the monthly chart. And then let's move closer down on the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart wise, you do see a couple more support resistances in action. Okay, distinctively wise over here is actually something you can spot. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. This is the main resistances. So now it's making a very strong bullish break and over here. So in terms of weekly wise, I do see potential retracement. If it does retrace to this near $30 mark, I'll look to add furthermore into my long-term investment. Yeah. Oh yeah. So for investment wise, generally I do not draw support resistances much on the daily chart because daily is where my entry and my entry time frame is generally where I rely on higher time frame to guide in terms of support resistances. But I'm not saying you can't draw. I'm saying you can draw to have a rough guide. Say something here would be a decent one. So you can. Yep. So that's just a quick draw. And now let's get right back into the weekly chart itself. All right. So if you look, oh, I think I haven't updated the monthly chart finish yet. Okay, so in terms of the monthly market structure, like I mentioned, right now it's still technically in a neutral market structure, even though it has cleanly break above it, but that is in terms of the price action wise. In terms of the monthly trend wise, definitely looking bullish. Price is very much above both the 20 exponential moving average and also the 50 simple moving average. Okay, the strength of the trend is definitely, I'll put it as dash because you don't have at least two, not even 50 and the 150. So monthly wouldn't be that applicable as of right now. But overall, I'm still rather bullish in terms of ASHR and KWEB. And the reason why is because ultimately I do see China as leading in terms of the industry, in terms of the market growth potential in comparison to US. So these two are in countries where I'm heavily invested in my portfolio as well. So over on the weekly chart, you can see that the market structure is clearly making higher highs and higher low. So this is the latest, the highest high, and this is a high, this is a higher high, this is the low, this is a higher low. So like what I said, if you're seeing that over here is already a bullish market structure, what you do see is you can enter upon a pullback. So you have entered somewhere along here, and then you'll be riding it all the way here if you're looking, if you were to enter a trade. Okay, so weekly chart looks really bullish as well. Bullish market structure, bullish trend. Price is very much above the 200 simple moving average. And the strength of the trend wise is actually not strong though. Yeah, over here, if you look at the numbers at the top over here, later when you point over to here, what you will see is that the 50 simple moving average is 27.94. And then you get 27.88 and 27.26. So yeah, it's actually aligned nicely. So the strength of the trend on the weekly chart is strong, definitely. So that's the update for it. And let's zoom down a little bit lower. On the lower time frame again, you see very nice, making higher lows, and higher low. So now this is cleanly break above it. I do see potential retracement, say maybe around this $30.30 region, and then I'll look to enter a long-term investment or even a potential trade if you're looking for one. All right, so on the daily chart, bullish market structure, bullish trend, and also strength of the trend wise may not be strong. Yeah, it's definitely not strong because 50 you can see is just barely possibly crossing over the 200. Right, so that's basically the update in terms of investment opportunity. I would say I don't see any yet because now this is making all-time high, and generally I do not enter for long-term investment when it comes to breaking out that kind of way. Instead, I look to enter upon pullback, but that is just how I invest in terms of long-term wise. All right, so now let's move over to the next one, which is actually KWEB. So similarly for KWEB, let's start from the monthly chart. All right, so KWEB similarly like Nasdaq is looking clearly more bullish. If you look at the overall market structure, but if you look at the strict market structure, this is a high, this is a higher high, this is a low, this is a higher low. So yeah, of course you could consider this as another low, then this will be a lower low. But overall, I would say that because you can see this drop is very insignificant, comparison to this dip. So I will consider this as one particular high, and this is a low, this is a higher low. So yeah, I will still classify as bullish trend. And similarly, like it doesn't have that, so I wouldn't be able to establish. But otherwise, it's clear bullish market structure and bullish trend. So on the money chart, and similarly, in this case, before I move to the weekly chart, let's start drawing the key support resistances. So over there in one, so unlike the ASHR actually has less clear support and resistance in the horizontal wise, we do see this rather nicely. Yeah, horizontal kind of support. So basically you can see I'm supported once, twice, thrice. This one not really, but then you could hear this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and even the sixth time is still supported nicely. So potentially there could be some sort of resistance met over here. You could see some sort of retracement to around here, $55 where I will look. So 56 to 55 is where I will look to add potential. So actually withdraw potential region where I'll look to add further long setup in terms of long-term investment. And then you could potentially just consolidate over at this particular ascending light triangle, and before it actually breaks out to higher highs, say maybe 2 to 3 years later, the kind of time frame basis. All right, so let's move over back to the line chart. So in terms of line chart, let's zoom back into the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, you can also see very clear bullish market structure: high, higher high, low, higher low. Strength is also strong because strength is actually normal. Yeah? Because you get 50, 200 before you get 150. So yeah, so this has yet to confirm. In fact, if you can see over here, the trend are looking rather flatlining. So right now it's still some sort of a consolidation phase. So I do expect some decent pullback somewhere around here. If there's some sort of support over here, I definitely will look to add my position onto it as well. Okay, and that's for the weekly update. And let's move down to the daily. In terms of daily wise, you still get a very rather nice market structure. Okay, so market structure wise, overall, it definitely does look in the bullish market structure, but short term wise, what you see here is a high, a higher high, a lower low. So it's technically still in the neutral market structure, bullish trend and strong. You get 50, 150, and 200. So the minute actually it forms over here is where it starts to give some sort of nice bullish market structure and also bullish market trend. So over here is where you could potentially be adding more because it was showing signs of strength building up, especially over here as well. So a lot of people will say that see here, and then they will thinking that it's been too bullish and they were waiting for some sort of stronger pullback. This is where you could actually be adding to strength and then riding along here to this next target as well. All right, so that's basically the update for ASHI and KWEB, which are the two new additions, and I will be updating them in the daily basis in terms of when are the right opportunities, also got better opportunities that I do intend to add myself. All right, and let's move on to Bitcoin. So over at Bitcoin, the daily market update. All right, so like what I mentioned, it has transited from a bullish market structure right now to a neutral market structure with a high, a higher high, a low, and a lower low. So could it become bearish? It could if it actually just fall right below here and closes. Then that is where you form a bearish market structure as well. So strength of the trend line is actually looking strong. Neutral market structure, a bullish trend. So yep, there's something to take note of, which means to say I will still lean towards the bullish biasness because you get the bullish trend. Price is very much above the 200 simple moving average. But it does show signs of weakness. So if I do look to have any long setup, I will only be looking to take them to have a very clear to the next resistance itself. So basically more of swing trade rather than trend following. All right. So over on the 4-hour time frame is where you see some weakness in it. But what you see over here is basically the most recent market structure, which is closest to here. You get a low, a higher low, a high. I'll consider this period as a high, a low, high, a high, a lower high, a low, a higher low. So I still consider it as a neutral market structure, even on the 4-hour chart. Trend is actually bearish and it's actually strong. So over here, if you're looking to enter a long, what I want is over here high, a low, a higher low, a high, and a break of this high. So the minute it breaks of this high, say, and closes nicely above this 50 simple moving average and also 20 exponential moving average. So that means to say, once it closes nicely above 9150 mark, nicely above, I will lean towards the upside momentum to a possibility retesting this 9300. Otherwise, short-term wise, I do see potential for the retracement, but let's see how it goes. So yeah, in terms of potential setup wise, I don't see much of a potential setup. Yeah, there isn't much of a clear potential setup as of now. Yeah, we'll want it to, and I'll lean towards the biasness of upside. So T2 wise, will be somewhere around 4K. Yeah. So I would say here is to take the first level of profit. This is to take the second level of profit. And yeah, so that's the update for today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for just a quick update on Bitcoin in terms of any trading setup or opportunity changes. Otherwise, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.